Hey, so we are right at mid-December 2024, perfect time. The time of the year that I usually start looking at what's going on in the world of insurance. When it comes to living abroad, there are three insurances that we really look into, and that is international health insurance, international life insurance, and for some of you, it's also going to mean income protection while you're living abroad as well. Okay, that's not applicable to everybody, but for some of you, it should be something that you consider. So I want to take a few minutes and take a look at where we are when it comes to insurances. Alrighty. And so for this, I am going to share my screen with you. One second. There we go. Alrighty. So you should be looking at the screen. You should be looking at an image that's very familiar to you. It's in our classroom section, Global Insurance. This is where I put all the insurance information. And I just want to go over just some general knowledge and then touch on each of the insurances. Now, you're going to see a lot of updates go in, a lot of handouts. I'm going to give you a couple of links for each of these, but expect a lot more um, documentation and communications coming forth in January because I'm having a lot of meetings this December with our insurance partners. Okay. Now, for those of you who just need a little more understanding to the breakdown of the type of health insurances, I have a snapshot page here because what you're probably accustomed to hearing and seeing a lot as you travel is travel insurance. Okay. And yes, there is a health component, usually for emergency situations, that's attached to your travel insurance. Now, I always recommend don't choose the insurance that's, at the end of the, when you're purchasing an airline ticket, because that is the least of coverages. That is the least of everything. Okay. You can go outside of that option and always grab your own travel insurance. Okay. You can go to arnithaweb.com and just buy regular travel insurance that will give you far more coverage for about the same price. Okay. But travel insurance, as you can see here, is designed for holidays and short trips to one other country. It protects both you and your possessions. Okay, travel insurance is heavily based on your possessions. Okay, any kind of stolen bags, anything that you lose due to, any losses that you suffer, even in your ticket price due to cancellations and interruptions and such. Okay. We're pretty, kind of familiar with it, right? But then we get into international insurances. Now, international insurance is a beast, okay? Because you have digital nomad insurance, you have expat insurance, you have inpatient plans, you have zone coverages, you have some insurances that'll follow you to different places, you have senior coverages. There are a lot of different types of coverages, and there are a lot of people that automatically assume that if I'm moving to a country that has a public healthcare option, and especially if you have a resident visa and it allows you access to that public option, I don't need any kind of plan. But in fact, most visas require that you carry a private insurance on top of that public health care plan, right? Um, and then there's the decision that you have to make on whether or not you're going to get a private plan that is just for that country, or one that will also go with you if you decide to travel to another country. So for example, a lot of us that live in Europe, you can country hop all across Europe very easily. Well, I may not want the policy that's just going to cover me in the country that I have the resident visa. I may want a policy that's also going to cover me because I'm going to spend a month over in France. I'm going to spend a month over in Albania. I'm going to spend a month in Croatia. But my resident country may be Spain. And I want a plan that's going to cover me, even as I navigate around. So, it's a lot of little details you should consider um, when you're choosing your international health plan. Also, depending on the carrier, tons and tons of options. Now, when I get a little further down, you'll see that we have right now. I'm only going to talk about two of our insurance partners. William Russell and IMG. We may have a third one that's come on and off of our list that I'll mention, in a couple of weeks. But again, there's a lot of options, but just In general, what I want you to know about your international health plan is that which plan you choose has a lot to do with the country, what their public option is, because it may be that you are required to have a private plan, but you may just want to get an inpatient plan. It's a lot of variables. It's a lot of variables if you have children, or if you're solo. It's variables depending on your age. It's variables. Do you want some type of coverage when you return to the US? Because some plans will give you some coverage when you return to the US, let's say for like 10 days, no more than 2 weeks. Okay. They're not going to tack on the US to your plan unless you select that you also want. Well, no, let me take that back. You're not going to want to tack on US because your premium is going to skyrocket, and then it may nullify some of the plans that I really promote for living outside of the US. Okay. So you don't want to get into trouble trying to get an expat plan but using it as your US plan. It wouldn't make financial sense anyway. Okay. Now, then you see here I have global insurance. Global insurance, high quality private healthcare insurance designed especially for expats. Now, this covers you and your family globally, across the board. This is sort of, I want you to think in terms of zones here. Okay, so you're going to choose a zone in the world and it will cover you for that entire zone. Okay. Um, a global insurance plan is going to be a comprehensive plan. Do they have inpatient only plans? Absolutely. Again, there's some nuances, and even though I keep talking about all these different options and all these little nuances that you're going to have to consider, it's not, believe it or not, your international plan is still going to be a simpler plan to pick than what we are accustomed to dealing with when we're looking at our US options, believe it or not. Yes, it is still going to be simpler. Okay. Now, I want you to take a look at the five most expensive countries for health insurance, and these are in order. The United States is the most expensive in the world. It is the most expensive of all developed countries just in the world. So we are living in it. If you are still in the US, we are living in the most expensive country there is. So anywhere you go from here is going to be a plus. Then you have Switzerland, Hong Kong, Canada, and France, and it's in that order. There's a reason why I want to bring that to your attention. Okay. Now, when it comes to your health insurance options, most plans, typically you'll be able to find a plan up to age 75. Okay. Plans are going to vary, and the coverages are going to vary depending on if you're looking for a senior plan, an individual plan, a digital nomad plan, a family plan, and such. Okay. Makes sense, right? Mental health, dental coverages, maternity plans, you know, whether or not they're automatically included, again, depends on the carrier, depends on the coverage. Okay. So you see, you do have some flexibility because there may be some of us that do not care about a maternity coverage, right? All right. Full coverages may not be necessary. I did allude to this already, because if you are living, for example, in a country like Spain, Spain has an awesome public health plan, public health system. So I may not need a real comprehensive full coverage plan in my private coverage. I may just want to opt for an inpatient plan. Okay. And to give me additional coverages. That's fine. Spain's options are awesome. Um, the larger your coverage zone, the higher your premium. For those of you who really do globetrot and may want to cover yourself on multiple continents consistently, of course, your premium is going to be higher. All right. I'm indicating here that we do have three partners. Hopefully, come January 1st, I will be naming three partners. Okay, right now I'm going to only mention two, but I may throw that third one back on. Again, December is the month that I look at all of the changes. And you guys know health insurance in general, we know what's going on here in the US. You know, it's it's being talked about all around the world. I'll just say that, okay? Alrighty. Now, when it comes to income protections, this is not for everyone. This is for your working person, the person that is moving with a company, or you got a position and with a company abroad. This is really for someone who can show a salary. You get paid every 2 weeks. You get paid twice a month. You have a salary, and you're trying to protect that salary should you lose it. Okay. This is not for a freelancer. It's not for someone who's putting together multiple gigs to or whatever. No, they're going to look at your salary from one employer, and let's say that employer is paying you 75,000 a year, $80,000 a year. You can insure your income up to 80% of that annual income. Okay, there is a grace period, or a period of where you can't collect. So for example, let's say something happens and I'm going to be out of work for 8 months. I may have to have, an operation, and it's going to have me out of commission. Well, depending on what period I elect, 3 months or 6 months, when I get that plan, 3 months after, let's say I selected 3 months, 3 months after I submit my claim, then I'll start receiving those checks, 80% of my income, so I don't suffer that income loss. So you still need a cushion of savings to hold you down until you start receiving your money. Okay. I think the reason why I say here this is good for individuals, perfect for families, because oftentimes when life happens, that's what brings people back to the US. They want to come back to that safety zone. I've mentioned that, that could or could not be the right thing to do. It really is an individual, case by case situation. During COVID, I have said many times that it would have been better for me to stay in Spain as opposed to being back in California. Okay. But I think this is really good because, if you're gonna not have that full income for an extended period of time, you don't have to worry about, coming back to stay with family, or however you may have to do it to return to the States. You can still, stay where you are, keep your family where they are. I think it's especially good for people with children. What I do like about our partner that offers the income protection is that you'll find a disparity in coverages when it comes to African countries, and they just have African countries covered. Okay, so I do like that. Also, once upon a time, income protection was only good for, if you truly was going to be, you have completely relocated and expatriated to that country. But with people moving a little more frequently, with digital nomads staying in places, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, or what have you, now you can get income protection for as little as 6 month stays, which is really good. It is renewable. It is renewed annually up to age 65. You do have to be under 60 in order to apply for it, but once you have it, you can keep renewing it up to age 65. It is an annual renewal, so it is a contract, an annual contract. If you want to cancel it early, you can get back your unpaid premiums, okay? Not the premiums that you've already paid. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't think about. If you already have life insurance, a lot of times people say, well, I got it. I've had life insurance for 20 years. Okay, wonderful. You most likely have a domestic policy from one of the major carriers in the United States. I would say check with their underwriting department. Make sure if you actually move out of the US, will your life insurance plan cover you? Not on a vacation, but will it cover you if you actually have a resident visa in another country? Because it is not a given. A lot of plans will void out if you are residing outside of the United States. Okay, so you want to find out about that. When it comes to international life insurance, it is very cut and dry. You pass away, it pays a lump sum to the beneficiary. Plain and simple. No investment vehicle, no IULs, none of that. Okay, it is a very simple policy that pays the beneficiary. Yes, you can tack on accidental death to it. Okay. Um, and it's covering you while you live and work and travel abroad. Okay. If you return to the US, yes, it does cover you. Outside of the US, debt is not dealt with unless you're, considering maybe UK, which is like the cousin to the US. But debt is not typically carried in the same way and is not looked at in the same way or managed in the same way outside of the United States. And so if you are purchasing property abroad and you are using a mortgage lender, sometimes a mortgage lender will require that you take out a policy, not all the time. Okay, depends on the country, depends on the lender. All right. But I have seen this, so I wanted to mention it. Sometimes a mortgage lender will require that you take out a policy and name them as the beneficiary. Most people like to do this. You've heard of this in the United States. It's called um, 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 uh, mortgage life insurance, mortgage protection. Mortgage protection. When something happens to you, your life insurance policy will pay off your mortgage so that your family doesn't have to lose the home. Same exact concept, same thing. Okay. With our particular partner for life insurance, William Russell, claims are honored for suicide after a year, which is rare, which is unheard of, honestly. Um, and depending on what country, the country you're in has no impact on the premium, which is awesome. Okay. Our insurance partners are William Russell and IMG. Now, with William Russell, they are actually giving me a brand new link that to start using in 2025. So I don't have that available right now. But if you go to William Russell, and I'm hoping that you can still see my screen. If you go to William Russell, what I do really like about their site is that it does have a wealth of information. So really peruse around it. Okay. They are creme de la creme. Okay. And IMG is different options. So do your comparisons. But if you want to, until they update my links, if you want to generate a quote for any of the assurances, okay, you can simply go here and you can start generating quotes. Now, I am surprised. Okay, this for the health. Let's see, maybe it's because I thought what I was looking for was oh, I'm on the health quoter. Um, mhm. Okay. If you come here to get a life plan, right here where it says getting a quote with the help of a broker, I only ask that you put in my name, Arnitha Webb, just spell my name out so that they know that I am referring you to them. Um, Listen, even though I have insurance licenses and I've been in insurance for many years, I because of there's no way I can keep up with all of the different countries and the different laws and whatever. I, I do not mind, like, go directly to them and their brokers and agents, whatever, their agents will get on the phone with you, answer any questions. Um, and they're really good. I love one of the reasons why they are a partner is because of the level of customer service that they give. Okay. And I always look at, do they honor claims as well? Okay. So I won't recommend a company that I wouldn't use myself. Okay. Um, but again, you put my name down, they know that I referred you. Now, if you want me to intermediate, and what have you, I don't have a problem with that. But feel free to go direct. I want you, to be in control. Okay. Um, and then our other partner, IMG, feel free to go to them. Now, with them, you can simply go to arnithaweb.com. Okay, if you go to my website, and as a matter of fact, if you go, I'm just going to try to go direct. There we go. Global insurance. No. Okay, it takes you right to the global insurance page. You'll see a couple of links for IMG. You'll see Travel Light. Okay, Travel Light. Remember I said you can get your own travel insurance that's more comprehensive than what's on that little box that you check off when you get your airline ticket. That's what that is. Okay, your Travel Medical Platinum, Senior, Remote Team. So you have a couple of links here that you can click on, and you can self-quote. Just fill out all the information and you can generate quotes, and those quotes will be emailed to you. All righty. Okay, so that's just a quick overview for mid-December on our insurance options. I will, since I'm not doing my hiatus this December, I will start putting in some handouts and some links in our global insurance area. Okay. Um, yeah. So I'm going to say Merry Christmas to everyone and ciao for now.